With a wave of nostalgia for 90s properties and the 30th anniversary of Spawn's comic book debut in 2022, the time may be right for a Spawn reboot. It was the 1990s and North American media was shrouded in darkness. Trench coats made of leather, cloudy nights, and malevolent technology affected everything. Superhero culture was not an exception. One received a lot of attention, thanks in part to the dedication of his creator. Spawn appeared in comic books, motion pictures, and even an animated miniseries in the 1990s that was a first for North America. For comics, it was a fantastic era. Violent books like Alien vs. Predator were published by Dark Horse. Japanese comic books and animation were starting to appear in North American media, with collectors discovering new gems on every shelf. More traditional comics were still receiving a lot of love. Characters like Spider-Man, Venom, and Spawn all share a similar appearance for a reason. It's because Todd McFarlane contributed to all of their conception and illustration. Originally, he worked for Marvel Comics, but he wanted to branch out and founded Image Comics in 1992. That same year, Spawn made its debut on store shelves. Spawn #1 is currently the best-selling independent comic book, with sales of 1.7 million copies. This ensured Image Comics and independent media in general a very bright future. Has there ever been a time when HBO didn't thrive? HBO took a chance on an animated series for adults back when cartoons were still for children. The first R-rated animated miniseries was HBO's Spawn, and even though the film was PG-13, an R-rated director's cut was made available. The live-action movie from 1997, the animated HBO series, and the Spawn comics all have slightly different plot lines. In some ways, each incarnation alludes to the others. In the comics and cartoons, Cyan is the child of Wanda Blake and Terry Fitzgerald, which drives Spawn insane. She gives the main character in the movie a more direct human connection because she is Al Simmons and Wanda's child. Al Simmons, the alter ego of Spawn, is named after a close friend of Todd McFarlane's. When they were in their university years, he was playing baseball for a semi-pro team in Kamloops, British Columbia. The 1997 movie makes numerous satirical allusions to light-hearted classics about dreams, dying, or the afterlife. While the 1997 film isn't widely regarded, the time has passed and there is a demand for a new film adaptation. So where exactly is it? The creator of Blumhouse Productions, Jason Blum, says it will take some time to perfect the script for the upcoming Spawn reboot. After years of planning, the Spawn reboot finally gained momentum in 2017 when Blum joined the project. Like Marvel does with the MCU, McFarlane also hopes to establish a shared Spawn universe. He plans to incorporate the two detectives from the comic book series, Sam and Twitch, into the upcoming film reboot. Spawn may develop into a major force in the entertainment industry, despite the fact that those plans are still in the early stages. More information about the plot and future casting will probably trickle out as Blum and McFarlane continue to advance the project. While the exact start date for the Spawn reboot is still unknown, fans can rest easy knowing that great care is being taken with the property. Before we go any further, we wanted to let you know that it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. The movie's official release date has not yet been announced, but given the production's up to this point delays, the earliest that it could debut is either late 2023 or early 2024. However, it could just as easily be 2025 or 2026. We can only hope that the movie will be released as soon as possible, since neither Todd McFarlane nor Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions has officially confirmed its release. Michael J. White, the original Spawn star, has expressed interest in appearing in the upcoming reboot. While other recent remarks suggest White doesn't believe it will happen, his willingness to appear in Spawn shouldn't come as a surprise, not because he thought McFarlane wouldn't ask him to make a cameo in the Spawn reboot. White recently expressed his skepticism regarding the possibility of a Spawn reboot. A new Spawn is quite risky, according to him, for a number of reasons, including how long McFarlane has wanted to make a new movie, the complications associated with his plot, and the demands of directing. Despite the fact that McFarlane and Blumhouse are still developing the film, White isn't overly optimistic about its prospects. Todd McFarlane has been working on a big-screen, R-rated reboot of Spawn for several years. Jamie Foxx has been cast as the title character, with Jeremy Renner also set to appear as Twitch Williams. Additionally, Todd McFarlane has planned personal cameos in the upcoming Spawn film. Wow, you know what? I'm about to get ready to shoot a Spawn movie. I'm going to put myself in it, McFarlane stated. Spawn was on a roll with Foxx and Renner officially cast, not to mention Blumhouse as a producer. Maybe the world was about to finally meet a new big-screen adaptation of this Image Comics staple after more than a decade in the making. Spawn's comics and animated series were always intended for older readers and viewers. Even though the 1997 motion picture received an R rating, the screenplay and acting received universal disapproval, and some viewers felt the violence seemed mindless and out of place with the rest of the story. Even though Spawn did make enough money at the box office to be a success, it was still a risky business. Superhero movies that were rated R at the time had a mixed record. However, now is the best time for R-rated comic book movies. Fans were annoyed when Venom received a PG-13 rating because they had hoped for a darker portrayal of the character. McFarlane has made it clear repeatedly that he wouldn't let his reboot of Spawn take the PG-13 route, and this new movie will be true to its inspiration. Although there isn't an official plot summary or log line for the film just yet, Todd McFarlane has openly stated in every interview that he's given over the past 17 years that the film is meant to be a low-budget R-rated/18 rating supernatural thriller with elements of horror. Spawn, according to McFarlane, will appear in the film as a shadowy, rarely seen boogeyman-esque figure, haunting New York's criminal underworld. Audiences were shocked when Spawn premiered on HBO because no one had expected to watch such a gloomy animated story. The show has a small but devoted fan base, and in later years, the episodes were even assembled as DVD movies. The marketability of McFarlane's edgy, dark superhero on the big screen is only increased by the success of the animated series. Even though Keith David, who provided the voice of Spawn, was already well known as a character actor, his vocal abilities were recognized after the show. He then continued to voice numerous characters in popular movies and video games. Who knows if he will make an appearance in the reboot? A Spawn reboot is desperately needed to undo the abomination that was Spawn in 1997. Michael J. White, the lead actor himself, is embarrassed about the film. The out-of-date special effects and corny dialogue contributed to the film's critical failure. An iconic character like Spawn deserves a much better cinematic treatment, as was previously stated. With new effects and McFarlane's involvement, now appears to be the best time to reintroduce the character to both loyal fans and new audiences. To add to the good news, Greg Nicotero has agreed to work on the film's makeup with McFarlane. However, the original superhero and character have remained one of Image Comics' best-selling original series since their debut in 1992, which might still pique the interest of any film studios that are considering approving the potential superhero blockbuster event. And because of this, you need to smash that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. It would be incredibly exciting to see a classic comic book character that isn't part of the Marvel or DC extended universe make it to the big screen. However, the Spawn reboot is still in its early stages of pre-production, so it might not be the right time to have unrealistic expectations for its eventual release. See you in the next video.